Hey, as we covered earlier, when you're driving, you should be aware of all of your surroundings. But also, when you park your car, you should always check for signs telling you whether or not you can park there or under what conditions it's okay to park. Now, unfortunately, there are no signs that say, no parking, well, unless you're going to be only a minute. Validation question number 7 is B as in boy. Parking signs must be obeyed. You should never park in a fire lane unless, of course, you're driving a fire truck, and you should never park in a space reserved for handicapped drivers unless you're legally entitled to do so. When leaving a parking space, you should always check around you to make sure that you yield the right-of-way to vehicles that are already in the lane you're trying to enter. Let me talk for a minute about railroad crossings. Usually there will be railroad crossing signs posted to warn you that there are railroad tracks up ahead. There might also be a large X or double R marked on the pavement. Whenever you approach a railroad crossing, you should look for indications that a train is coming. If electrical or mechanical warning devices are flashing, or a gate has come down, or a worker is signaling with a flag, or if an approaching train is clearly visible, then you must come to a full stop between 50 and 15 feet before the railroad track. Never stop on a railroad track or within 6 feet of either rail. And once the train has passed, do not move forward until the gate has gone up and you are sure that no other trains are approaching. If you are in heavy traffic, make sure that there is enough room for your vehicle on the other side of the tracks before you cross. By the way, if you're ever so unlucky that your car stalls on a railroad track when the train is approaching, don't waste time. Immediately get yourself and your passengers away from that car. Now, about guide signs. Guide signs help us to find our way on the highway system. These signs are normally green and white. For instance, 10 miles to Disney World is a guide sign. Some guide signs are blue and indicate all the services coming up. Think of all the services and match them to the color blue. Hospital, food, service stations, hotels, and disabled parking zones. Brown signs are also guide signs, and they indicate parks and recreational areas. Welcome to Yellowstone Park, camping, hiking trails, they're all brown. Did you know that shapes of signs are also indicative of what's ahead? For instance, a school zone is in the shape of a schoolhouse. Warning signs are always diamonds. A railroad crossing sign is round, and a stop sign is octagon shaped. A regulatory sign, like a speed limit sign or no parking sign, is always rectangular. The color and placement of street markings is also very important. A yellow line normally separates traffic moving in different directions. A yellow line can be either solid or broken. A broken yellow line, most of the time, indicates separation of two opposing lanes of traffic. It is legal to turn across these broken lines or use them to pass another vehicle when it's safe to do so. A solid yellow line means no crossing except to enter or exit a driveway. You cannot pass another vehicle across a solid yellow line. White lines separate lanes of traffic moving in the same direction. For instance, they mark the start of a turning lane, a crosswalk, and the beginning of an intersection. When you're making a turn, you should be sure that you're in the proper lane. Use your signal at least 100 feet in advance of the turn. If you're not in the correct lane by that point, you should wait until the next intersection to make your turn. You should make a right turn from the right lane into the right lane of the road you're entering. Make a left turn from the leftmost lane into the left lane of the road you're entering. If the road markings allow more than one lane to make a left turn, you should turn into the lane that corresponds to the lane that you're leaving. Some intersections will be marked with a special lane specifically for left turns, in which case you should be making your turn from that lane. Always follow the white arrows marked in the lanes at an intersection. They will tell you whether you're allowed to make a right turn or a left turn or only go straight ahead. And always reduce your speed before making any turn.